Phil Spencer was on the Dropped Frames podcast and gave some updates on some key Xbox franchises. When Halo Infinite got delayed from the original release date, which was going to be released alongside the Xbox Series X and S of November 2020, they gave us a window release date of holiday 2021. Then they've shown off more gameplay and given us a deep dive in what we can expect for the free-to-play multiplayer, but still have not given us an exact release date. On the Dropped Frames podcast, Phil Spencer was asked about this, and he confirmed that yes, absolutely, Xbox is still targeting a 2021 release date for Halo Infinite, and it will be releasing this holiday season. So here's what he says about the exact release date. He says, for us, we know kind of our range in the 3 to 4 week range. We don't yet have an exact day. There's some other things with some other game timings that we're trying to look at. So pretty much he is saying that they have selected the release date within a couple of weeks. It's not like they have selected it within a couple of months, or just don't want to lock down one date and then have to move it to another date in a couple of weeks span because of other games that are being released. And I think this is a very smart move by Phil Spencer and by Xbox. So basically what they are thinking here is that obviously there is Battlefield 2042. They know the release date of that, but there is also the new Call of Duty. I think it's called Call of Duty Vanguard, which is the one coming out this year that has no release date yet. And with Call of Duty being so big, they are not going to want to release Halo and the free-to-play multiplayer anywhere within like the same couple of days of that game. So I'm guessing they are going to be waiting for the release date of Call of Duty Vanguard and then releasing Halo Infinite's free-to-play multiplayer either a week or two before or after that date. And why I say it's smart is because you got to think about, in recent memory, one of the probably best first-person shooters that did not get nearly enough love was Titanfall 2. Now this released back in 2016, and one of the biggest reasons nobody picked it up when it first came out was because they literally released it and sandwiched it between the brand new Battlefield, I think Battlefield 1 in 2016, and the brand new Call of Duty game. And those two games are much bigger franchises than Titanfall, and that is one of the major reasons why the game suffered in terms of player counts and in terms of people purchasing it when it first came out. And if you haven't played Titanfall 2 yet, it is probably one of the best first-person shooters ever made in terms of the campaign, and even in terms of the multiplayer with how fun it is. It is on Xbox Game Pass. I would highly recommend going to check it out because it also has that FPS boost. So it's just such a joy to play on the Xbox Series X and S, and that is not something you want to see happen with Halo Infinite multiplayer. You don't want to see it being taken over by the release of Call of Duty. Now, arguably, Halo being a much bigger franchise than Titanfall 2 could definitely compete with the next Call of Duty game, but Call of Duty is a multi-platform game. It is so big every year, no matter how bad it is, no matter what the reviews are, no matter if people are hating on it, it always is one of the highest selling games of the year. Halo does not want to really go against that juggernaut and release it like on the same day. They want people jumping in to Halo Infinite free-to-play multiplayer to get them hooked right away and not have to really fully compete with the release window of Call of Duty. Now, even though it's going to be releasing in the first couple of weeks, it's still going to technically be competing with Call of Duty, but I think if it is the first one out of the gate before Call of Duty, people are going to jump into Halo Infinite multiplayer. They're probably going to fall in love with it, and they're going to want to continue to play going forward, because I mean, Halo as a multiplayer shooter is one of the best ever made, one of the best out there, and it is a ton of fun. He also went on to talk about Starfield and how they had chosen to put a date in the trailer because it was Todd Howard who wanted to do this, saying that Todd Howard's idea to put a date in the trailer. We talked about that a lot, but whether you do that, calling your shot that far out, but that's something he wanted to do. And that is very, I guess, good. If you're a Starfield fan, something you should be really excited about, because obviously Todd Howard is so confident in this game. He has no problem locking down a date so far in advance from when it is actually going to come out. So it's coming out in November 2022, but I think the game, because they've been working on it for so long, is pretty much complete, probably in the polishing stages now, I would assume. So I think Todd Howard is very confident that this game is going to turn out great, and they're going to be able to deliver on that November 2022 release date. Now, moving on here, they also talked about Fable, a game that is highly anticipated, I think, by the majority of Xbox fans, a game that I am absolutely excited for. I cannot wait. Fable is one of my favorite franchises on Xbox. So when they announced that they were rebooting it and releasing it for the next generation consoles, and that Playground Games was making it. It was exciting, but it was also kind of like, Playground Games makes Forza Horizon 5. I wonder what they're going to be able to do with Fable. Well, Phil Spencer touched on this, saying the only thing I can really say about Fable is seeing the pedigree of the team in Playground and where they set the bar for themselves in building a game. I think that showed with the Forza Horizon 5 preview that they had. I think people should just take confidence in that studio director, Gavin, and the team there have the same level of focus on doing something amazing with an IP that we know is really important to a lot of Xbox fans. So we can't wait to get to show more, but the team is just amazing. For me, I never really had any doubts in Playground Games in working on Fable. I was just more like, they work on Forza Horizon, which is a completely different style of game of Fable. But after the showing of Forza Horizon 5 and just how amazing the graphics are, the engine that they have there, I have no doubt that this game is gonna look amazing, and we're gonna have to wait and see like what the gameplay is and the story is. I mean, that isn't always a guarantee as to how well they're going to be able to write a story and how well they're going to be able to write an RPG in the style of Fable, with like the character development and the dialogue and all that kind of stuff, because that's super important. And based off of my most recent memory of an RPG that I've been playing, which obviously a lot of people have, is Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and what they did with the character development in Mass Effect 2 and the dialogue options, and just how you can dive into every little thing and get more information about characters in the story is absolutely amazing. And I would love to see maybe something along those lines with Fable. Maybe not as in depth, because Fable is more of like fairy tale and it's less serious, I would say, than the Mass Effect series. But I think that graphically it's going to look amazing. You know that with Forza Horizon 5. And we're going to really see the storytelling minds of Playground Games get put to the test with this next Fable game. And finally, moving on here, Phil Spencer also talked about a game I think a lot of people want to see come back, and that is Killer Instinct. So Killer Instinct, we got with the release of the original Xbox One. It was a free-to-play game, and then they added in characters and just updates to the game as the years went on. And I think Killer Instinct's release with the Xbox One was one of the bright spots of the release. It's a beloved franchise, and I thought they did a great game with the Xbox One version. And when it comes to bringing this game and making a new one for the Xbox Series X and S, it looks like it is not out of the question, as Xbox is still looking and still wanting to revive, again, Killer Instinct. So here is what Xbox's Phil Spencer said on the Drops Frames podcast, saying, "There's so many good games in our catalog that we'd love to visit. The response when we redid Killer Instinct at the launch of the Xbox One was fantastic. I will just say, Matt Booty and I have discussed many times Killer Instinct and where we would like to go with it, and it's not out of our minds. It might be out of our minds, but it's in our hearts and in our minds that we want to continue to do something with Killer Instinct. It's about finding the right team and the right opportunity, but it's not due to any kind of lack of desire on our part that we're not doing more with Killer Instinct, because we love the franchise and the community response." So there you have it. Killer Instinct, don't count it out. It may be making a comeback at some point throughout this generation. And we've already heard that they wanted to work on creating a new Killer Instinct game. They just didn't have the development studio who is going to be able to work on it. So I guess they're still waiting for a development studio to get that passion for the game, to want to create it within their first party Xbox game studios. And we've seen also rumors about Xbox potentially acquiring NetherRealm or another fighting studio. Now, those are all just rumors that may not have any validity, but at the same time, maybe they are looking for another developer to acquire in order to create fighting games, because I think with Xbox Game Pass and their catalog of games, that is a major part of their catalog that is missing: a great fighting game. And Killer Instinct could definitely be that great fighting game. They just need somebody to be able to step up and make another great Killer Instinct game. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Phil Spencer gave a lot of great updates on some major Xbox franchises. Let me know what you think about Halo's release date, Playground Games working on Fable, and how badly do you want another Killer Instinct. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you like what you see throughout this video, I'd really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow and help grow this community so we can have great conversations in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.